Our next speaker tonight is Chris Cortazzo. Chris has been recognized as Coldwell Banker's #1 Malibu real estate agent for the past decade. With more than $1.8 billion in closings since 2000, Chris has been widely hailed for his outstanding production. In addition to his reign as Malibu's premier real estate agent, he is a member of Coldwell Banker's elite top 1% percentile nationwide. Please welcome Chris Cortazzo, who's going to talk to us tonight about tips from a winning top producer.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for having me here, and Ellie and Rafi, thank you. I would do anything for you guys. So anyway, I'm here to talk, and David, what a wonderful talk that you did. I was writing down some points because I think they're really important. I think you should all absorb them in your daily practice. But I got into real estate in the year 1994, and everyone wonders, what's the secret to my success? And there's no one secret. It's a lot of work. And you just have to motivate yourself. And as David pointed out, there's a few things you have to sacrifice. The big joke with my agents, with my assistants, I have 8 assistants, and I said, would you want to be me? And everyone says, absolutely not. They don't want my life. They don't want to work this hard, even though they all work hard. But you also said determined. I got in the business in 1994 when there was everyone was a top agent except me, and I didn't have any listings, but I was fortunate enough to have my first buyer, who happened to be Richard Gere, and it was a $5 million sale, which at the time was probably a $40 million sale today. And but what I did is I did an amazing job. And you keep on you have to layer yourself in your sales, because it's all about your reputation. There's not one sale that I would do, I don't care if it was $200 million, I would not do it if it sacrificed my reputation. Your reputation is the key to your success. If you don't have integrity, you're not going to do well in this business. That's just the bottom line. That's the foundation that that has to be your mantra every day. But along with all of that, you have to have the determination, which I did. I went in to speak with my manager, who I've been fortunate enough that he's been here with me for 20 years, and I said, I'm going to be the #1 agent in the country, and with Coldwell Banker. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did it. But you have to be consistent, as David said. You have to have the consistency, and you have to have the confidence. And I don't have much time to speak, so I'm going to try to get as much things as I can in here. But confidence is so key. Every day we're dealing with really tricky clients, and we're trying to navigate all their personalities. If you have a bad client, a really difficult client that's going to be affecting your confidence, get away. Try to fire them. Do whatever you can, because that one client can cost you 5 to 10 deals, because it's going to cost you your confidence. And that's one thing, as Brian and I work in the same arena in Malibu, is that, you know, I'm very confident. I know the sales. I've done the majority of them. But the confidence is what people really want. Just think about it as your house is like you are protecting their baby. You're holding their baby. You have to have the confidence, and you have to own it. And that means you have to know the sales, the comps, the hiking trails. Brian has children in the local schools. You have to know every avenue, because when the buyer's coming to Malibu, you have to know all the ins and outs. Or if you know you represent the seller, you definitely need to know all the sales statistics. I went on 3 listing appointments today. I'm completely destroyed, but I got all 3 listings, and it's going to be over $30 million combined. But I say that's a lot of magic dust in one day. So anyway, And you know what, David, you also said your style, kind of get your style. But my style, you have to be almost like a chameleon in this business, because you're kind of navigating all these different personalities. And your style changes every day, at least mine does. You kind of react to what is in front of you. And I think that's how you become successful, and that's, you know, how your team and you did, and you succeeded and, you know, won all these different accomplishments. It's really amazing. But, you know, the one thing I love about real estate is every day is different. You're not in front of the computer. You are out there. We have the greatest business. And you can be as successful as you want to be, but you have to work. Rafi and I were talking about something earlier, is that, you know, I have had some difficulties in the business. In the year 2000, in January, I had 7 deals, and I thought, and I wasn't the top agent in Malibu. I was struggling. Every year I was trying to gain ground. But in January, I had 7 deals, and in the 1 week, all the deals fell out. And, you know, most people would say, this is not my year, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do something else. And I always say I always put it up to the light. I'm very spiritual. I always put everything up to the light. And I said, there's a reason for it. And my goal is to try to change each one of these deals to my advantage. And that's what I did. I put them in different scenarios, and it worked out much better. But that's the frame of mind that a top person has to have. And you have to change, you have to be the chameleon, and you have to have the confidence, which goes back to that. And so that was the beginning in 2000, where I became the #1 agent in Malibu. And I just owe it to never giving up. I failed the real estate exam 3 times. I'm not great at multiple choice. I'm really good at expressing. And I had shingles. It was the worst experience. It was awful. And everyone kept on going, did you pass? And I'd have to say I didn't. But I just didn't give up. I mean, that's just the spirit of Chris Cortazzo. I don't know failure. My family never taught me failure. But then, and I'm not going to cry, I'm determined, but in 2009, the world was coming into an end. The financial markets were chaos. And I was just trying to do the best I can. And then in April, I lost my dad. And it was like, it was the end of my world. My whole universe collapsed. But I took a week off of work, and I just tried to mobilize. And my business manager said, you know, Chris, I have a lot of properties. And she goes, Rome is falling. You have to get back to work. It's a really bad market. And I just picked up the phone. I knew that's what my dad wanted. And that was the first year I became #1 out of 100,000 agents in Coldwell Banker, with the worst market and just the worst environment. But again, you put your mind to something and you could accomplish what you want to do. Are there any questions? Anyone else? Yes.
How did you go about prospecting then?
Chris, repeat the question.
How did I go about prospecting? I did it a different way. I never go after expireds. I haven't ever. I'm very social. I got a number from someone at Starbucks, and, you know, what are you ordering today? You know, are you getting your coffee fixed? And then I talk to everyone. And I think that is the best approach. Go to the gym, join organizations, be out there. That's just what's worked for me. But I do such a great job with each client that it's now all referrals. But that's 20 years, and I sacrificed a lot. You know, I look at Brian, and he has a beautiful family. You know, I'm getting older, and I would like to have a child this year, so I'm going to start slowing down my career. But you know, you make sacrifices, and like I said, even my assistants said they don't want to be Chris Cortazzo because it requires 7 days a week for 20 years. You know, the one day I don't have to worry about the phone is Christmas Day and New Year's Day. I got bothered on Easter, and that's how you make the sacrifices. But if that's what you want, and that's, for me, money means financial freedom. And my dad was the retired firefighter, and we didn't come from money. And so I wanted to make my parents' life very comfortable, and I succeeded. So there you go.